Hello. So today we'll going to start the next session of the CATIA software, and we're going to learn about some of the new tools like how to extrude the surface and how to cut the surface. And in the third session we'll see some of the advanced tools and then how to use them to create critical surfaces and critical solid models. In the last session we already seen how to create the sketch. As briefly I can explain. For initial you have to go to start, go to the mechanical design, as we are working on the part design, not in the surface or any other assembly product. So if you go to the mechanical design, you will see the list, and then you can choose the part design here. On the click of the mouse, it will show the part name. It is by default it is taking part 2 because my one screen is open, so that's why it is taking the part 2. And then you can select on the OK, so you will see the new screen over here. Then if you have to sketch anything, you will see this a small toolbox here, and you can click on the sketch option. And similarly, as we learned in the Fusion 360, you have to choose any of the plane. You can select the plane, so it will direct you to the different panel where all the tools for this sketching is available. So now you can sketch here anything, but as we studied in the last session, always remember to create a constraints, which means you have to put some dimensions throughout, because it is better to give some references in the further model making or CAD modeling. It is required. So let's do that. Here it is the small panel where you can click for the dimensions. So you will see the dimensions. Click on the any of the edge where you want to put the dimension, and it will automatically show the default dimension, or you can change, double click on the particular dimension and you can use your keypad to modify the dimension. It's like I'm giving 58 to 60 or 58. Again, as we learned in the last session, that you need to make it whole green. That means it is totally constrained, and you are now able to identify the what are the coordinates and of the square block from which it is started. So better again we will go to the sketch. You can take reference from the horizontal to the vertical. Now again it is showing the 90 degrees of pink line because it is over constraint. Means other than choosing this, we can select this one, and now it is showing 29. So if you want to make it a symmetrical box, you just have to change it to 30 and it will move the box as per the center. Again, next one, this to this, that is 30. Maybe if you want to create a symmetrical box, 70, half, 35, and then okay. Now once you have to go back to the solid modeling, you can just click here on the exit workbench. Clicking here, it will go back to the solid modeling thing, right? And then you can use the solid modeling tools. So here for the extrude, most of the software use extrude command or extrude name for the particular thing where you have to extrude certain part or a sketch into the certain dimension or a depth. But in CATIA we select pad. It is similar to the all the extrude commands. So you can select, click on the pad, and then it will automatically detect the sketch, and it will show by default a 20 mm length extruded. Or if it is not selected, it is not in the orange, or you clicked outside and it is showing white, even if then you can click on the pad and then it is showing on a small pad definition panel. There is a type, dimensions, and the length, and the selection here, which part or sketch you want to extrude, that you need to select, and clicking on that it will go to the padded mode. So now you can, if you want to do the mirror extension, like if you can see here, there is mirror extend column is open. So if you can click here, it will 20 will be multiplied from the symmetry, it will convert into the 40, but from the center, as you can see. And now you have two limits here, like limit 1 and limit 2. So you can manually hold the limit, you can move your mouse on the limit and you will see two arrows here, right? Then you have to click on the arrow, mouse left button, and then move it. Now we have selected the mirror extend, that's why it is showing the mirror extension, right? And if you want to see the exact preview, because now it is in the wireframe mode, so you can click on the preview button and you will see the box, solid box. So if I close the mirror extend, and then I will see it's still showing the two limits, right? Because there is no other option, so you can select the different limit and all, because it is already by default available here. So better you can just move your box from here, or you can just zoom in and see when the limit 2 is get orange color, change into the orange color, you can hold that arrow and just push it with whenever you want to extend the box or any product, right? So now it is manually extended, and then you can see, okay. So this is like a basic thing, basic box if you want to create. Now few other things, like how you can do the fillet and all. So once you created something that is converted into the solid, the all the options which you can use are now on, because initially if you have seen the screen, all these things are off, right? But now it is on. So what are the things we need to create in the detailing of any product? You need to use some kind of fillets, chamfers, right? So here you will see a panel, small panel. You can just click hold of your mouse button and just pull it onto the center screen for the ease of the access, whatever you are creating, right? So here you will see a fillet thing, fillet edge. You can click here and then click on any edge, right? So it will show you certain radius. By default it is taking 5. If you want to see the preview how it is look, you can click on the 5 and it will show, okay, how the curve is going to manipulate. So if you can increase, there is two arrow up and down, you can increase from here, like how much you want to improve, and then again preview, it will show you the how much fillet it will create. Then you can click on OK. So now the fillet is created, right? There are different fillet options available that you can explore later on. Once you have some critical options or critical product you need to create, but most of the things are the simple product. If you want to make it, is enough to know the fillet and the chamfer. So what happens in the chamfer, same thing, rather than creating the radius, it will create a flat edge. If you click on any edge, it will show you the direction from where it is going to create a 45 degrees angle of length 1. You can click on the preview, it will show the 1 mm cut through the 45 degrees of angle. Or maybe I'll just increase some of the length, like 5, 6, 10, till 10 we'll go. Now we'll see. So now you can see it is showing how much cut it can create. Now if you can click on the OK, it will cut the portion, right? So these are the major basic tools. Advanced tools we will see in the coming session. So only with the use of pad or a cut. Now we will see the pocket here. They don't use in the CATIA cut option. They directly say the pocket, how to create a pocket, or neither in the pad you can create the pocket. It is the separate tool, right? So same thing, what you have to do here. Again we have to sketch something. So we'll go to the sketch option. Then again, now if I'm moving my arrow, it is indicating that some of the sections can be selected and you can draw on that. Even this the fillet surface, right? If I want to create a, or even you can select the plane that is the center, right? If I have to create a circle here, I'll just click and then now I can directly, it is moved to the our sketch toolbar. Now maybe I can create a center hole here, giving certain dimensions to it, like 40. It is automatically converted to the 40. Let's go back. Now I will use, I don't have to create a pad here, I want to create a hole here, right? So I will go to the pocket option. I'll click on the pocket. The circle is already selected. If you deselect it, or maybe if you want to select this surface or the sketch option is open, I'll select down this profile, and now it is showing this much cut is available. So now again, if you can see the same options for the pad and same options for the cut or the pocket option, limit 1 and limit 2 is on, right? So you can just extend your limits here, and now you can see preview, it will show how the cut is operated, right? And now then you can click on OK button. So this is how the both tools you can use, right? For extrude, pad, and for the pocket you can use the cut option. Now we'll try to make some model and create by using these two tools. What else we can create, right? So for Control Z you can just undo the things. So maybe let's take an example of the normal mobile, touchscreen mobile, where you have to create a flat surface and there are a lot of fillets are also involved, right? So maybe I'll take example of the mobile. So what is the first stage? If you have the sketch of the mobile or a reference of the mobile in your hand, so you can just try to sketch with the particular dimensions. So first, select the plane, whatever plane you want to create. It will guide you to the plane. Then I will select the center rectangle thing, and then what will be the dimensions of the mobile, I will go on that. Click here. It is already H and V, it is horizontal and vertical lines are aligned. What is the next thing? Next thing will be the dimensions. How much will be the dimension? It is showing 42. Maybe I will take 60, and for this I will take showing 79. I might take 90, or maybe 100 I'll put. So these are the like generalized dimension for the reference. If you have the dimensions of any particular product, so you can take direct reference, but I am taking it for the understanding of the tools. So more or less this is like a shape size we can consider. Okay. So what is the next part? Next thing, once you created the square or a baseline, always remember, once you're creating any product or anything, any solid modeling product, so always remember to go with the bigger part first and then go stepwise to the smaller parts and the smaller details. So then what is used, you can see the orange box, it is already created. Now you can click on the pad, it will guide you to the thickness of this thing, but I don't want the 20 mm thickness, so maybe I'll just reduce to the 5 is enough. Then I'll click on OK. So now I have this looking kind of thing, the bigger chunk. Now what is the basic shape? Most of the mobiles have the bigger fillet, so I click on the fillet option. I will click here, click here, click here. You can always use simultaneous fillet options because it is easy and time saving. So I will check on the preview. And if I can see, I might need a little bit more fillet, so maybe 6 7 preview. It's looking good, but 8 will be much better. Yeah, so now you can see it is almost looking like a shape of the mobile. What else are things are there? Maybe some cut or a fillet on both the sides, so I will use, what is the option here? Fillet option, right? So I'll click on the chamfer and then select the edge. So here you can already select the full edge, right? And now I can see the preview is showing 45 degrees. And now I can see if I'm okay with it, and it is showing some cut. Then again, maybe you have selected it both the times, or maybe you can select it again. So it is 45, the same thing, and then you got the overall shape. So now what are the major things? Like, you have to define the screen, but now we are not making it the assembly model, so better we only show the how much area the screen is, right? So again, go to the sketch and then click on the screen, right? And now I can select from the center, and I'll see how much screen is required. Maybe if you can take the reference from whatever the mobile you are trying to make, you can click and just leave. Always check the dimensions if it is proper. Make a round up here like 54.66, so maybe I'll take 54, and for this one to this, undo for the over constraint. This one is 79, so I'll click 80. So it is already showing the green constraint. So then again I will go to the cut option now, because I need to show some depth or a cut. So this much depth is not at all required, obviously, so I'll just put 0.1 and then see the preview. Click on OK. Now I have a screen kind of thing is ready, right? If you want to define the color initially so that you can identify the things, you can always right click here and go to the properties, and if you see here property option, and you can see the first option is color here, right? So you can just click on the arrow here, and then you can select I want to apply the black color on the screen, and then I can click on the OK option. Now I have the screen is ready, and the almost the mobile like shape is ready. So what are other details here, right? There is a small button, so maybe I'll add a button. So what we have to do, again go to the sketch option, click here, it will guide you to the sketching tool. Now let's see what are the options you have for creating a slot, right? Here there is a slot option. You can click here, we'll find the center and how much I want. So from here to here, maybe like this, or a smaller button. This is good. Then again, taking the reference, I'll make it 2. And again, now you can see the difference. So I can make it 7 7 7, and here 7. Now exit. Then again I will use the same option. What I have to use? I have to use pad. Now it is already selected. You can just rotate your screen, and then 0.1, maybe 0.4 we will put, and see the preview. It is little depth, that is fine, right? And now we have a slot here, right? And now we have to create a switch again. So then again go to the sketch. Now we have to sketch inside, right? If you do not want to create a sketch again, you can use this tool all the time if you want to create any references. So here there is a tool where project 3D element. So now we have the 3D and you want to create a sketch around it, right? So no need to create again the same thing with the dimensions and the constraint, because we already did it. So you can use project 3D element. You click on it, and then you can click on the surface and click outside the screen. So now it is showing in the yellow color. It means that the sketch is created. Now I need to see where I can do the offset. So here there is the offset option. I can click on the offset. I can click on the sketch, and I'll see the blue line here for the offset option. I'll just little closer because it is a button, so click here. That is fine. If I don't want the original sketch, I can just delete it. Now it is just showing how much offset is there. Then I can go back, use the option, and then now I want the a little bit same thing, or maybe little down because it's the switch. Click OK, right? Or maybe we'll just, so now I want to edit it. There is no history. So if I want to edit the same part, what I have to do, I'll go to this thing and double click on it. So once I double click, you can edit the option. Maybe I'll just put 5 here. It will just pop out a little bit more, and then I'll just do it. So again, if you want to add a little bit details, always there is no flat edges. Always there is a smooth edges. So 0.1, let's see how much this is good enough. Then again fill it on this preview. Okay, so now I have the switch ready. So what else is there? There will be here we'll go finish the first bottom part. You will see here a charging port, right? So if I want to create something over here, what I will do, I will just click here, go to the plane where I want to create something, click on here. It will direct me to the certain plane. Yes, this is shifted, so this is bottom, this is top, right? if you by mistake change the plane or something like that, you can always go to the normal view and click here. It will show you the normal view. So again, what how the shape should be, I think it's always like the slot. So again, we will use the slot command from here to here, or maybe like this, right? And if you want a smaller one, you can just always manually do it, and then you can check the dimensions. It is 1, and now we'll just do the constraint, like how much it is from this one. It is 5. This to this to this. So again, we can adjust the 2.8 here. 2.8 here. If you just want to move that 1.2 to 1.3 maybe, so it will be little bit on your per side. Then again, we'll back to our sketch mode. What we will do, we will use the pad option, right? So how much depth we needed? A little bit more, right? It is showing 1.5, maybe will 1.8 will do. Preview, and then okay. So now we have the charging slot, but charging slot do have a lot of details, right? There is inside a certain detail. So again, we'll I think more depth is required. To what I have to do, double click on the option, maybe 2.2 or 2.4 maybe. We'll preview it, and then just finish, right? So what else details? Same thing we did for the this switch. There must be some kind of extrude part over here, and then there is a slot. So maybe we'll try to create a slot first. Click on the inner surface, go to the sketch option, right? And then there will be a box kind of thing. Let's select any box structure from here and till here, right? Then next stage, dimensions. Now it is in the air, so maybe the below dimensions will be different and top dimensions will be different, right? So maybe you can select like this, like to this, and then you can give some dimensions to both of them. Like 0.4 is written, so 0.7, so I'll just make it 0.4. And now this to, let's zoom in a little, this, and go 5.7. so I'll just click on 6. Now let's move this to this, and moving this to this. This is showing over constraint because they already mentioned the 6 here, so maybe mentioning this 3 over here, it will automatically balance the thing. And the next thing we want, you already given, and let's give some 2.3. Go back to the sketch. Now pad, now it is in the inside direction, right? So the trick here is always check where is the arrow going. So if you can click on the arrow, it will turn the opposite direction. So it is going out, so maybe a little bit inside, not this much. So maybe we'll manually change from 2.2.1. Let's see the preview. Yeah, this will do. Now we have a little slot, but it is again looking sharp. So what is our options here? Can create the fillet here. Select all 4 edges, and now 0.1 is already there, so that will work. Okay. Now you can see a little details, right? Always work on the details, because once you render it, once you show it in the concept, it will be difficult, you haven't shown any details, because in rendering it will be, everything will be visible, right? And it doesn't look great when you don't have the details, or you miss some details. It looks weird, and it looks like it is not manufacturable, or it's just a basic concept you want to present, right? So maybe we'll add more details here. What else should be? I can again just use the command of creating this. So I have to click every time if I am selecting one by one, but if I double click on here, if it turns into the orange, then I can click every time, right? And now I can just select this, go to the offset option, right? And again double click on the offset. Now it is picking single line, so let's click line, and what is the dimension here? 0.2 will do. Now again from here can click, from here we can just guide, it will guide you to the connecting point, so we can just use them, right? So everything is 2 to 2.5, right? So then we can just double click here, so it is deselected, click outside. Now I don't want this, so I can just delete this thing, right? Or maybe I can keep this thing, Control Z undo, because we just want to create a small detail over here. So go back, and then you can just go to pad, again reverse the direction, and then it is written 1.5 preview, and then okay. So now you have a much detailed dimension. When you insert the charging pin, you will see a certain detail over here. One is outside the plastic casing, and then there is a electronic component, and then there is a small switch. Even you can create a slots here, and then you can see how this slot can be manageable. Other thing, same thing we can do with the audio jack or a headphone jack. So same thing again, sketch, click, go to the options, select the circle, right? And always put the dimensions. It's 2.5, so 2.3 will do. And I can just change some location towards the center. Maybe I can guide this to here, how much the distance and how much is this distance. Now we have the exact location from where it is been made. So maybe I can put 13 here, and I can just know what is the dimensions. I can just put 3. It is little close, so maybe 2.4. This looks fine. Go back. So here you have your audio. Again, go to the pad, and now you can just go in how much depth of the audio jack is there, and then you can select OK. So now I have the hole for the audio jack, right? So what other details will be there? Definitely audio jack will not have the single slot, there will be 3 slots, right? So maybe I can just again go to the sketch, select the inner option, it will go back, right? What I will do, again I will select this to select this and then select offset. Now I have to not worry about the constraining here because it is already showing. Only I can put the dimensions from here 0.27 maybe, that is okay. Or there is other way that you can just keep it here and do some circles, like I will just show you how you can easily do it, like pad to certain extent like this, finish. Now have the slot option here. I can go to sketch, again sketch. So here if you created a sketch and it is not constrained, like what should be the distance exact or not, right? So again, yesterday that the last session we studied about some tools here from the constraint defining. I can click on the constraint defining, right? So it is showing the radius, diameter and fix. If I click control option from the keyboard and click both of them and then click on the constraint defining, it will open some of other options like concentricity and coincident. Like coincident, it will exactly take the same dimensions of this, but we need the concentricity, so we'll click on here and now it is both centers of this circle are aligned. Now click OK and you can put some dimensions. It is showing green, that is 1.7 is fine, and then you can pad. I want inside. Okay. So now you can see some detail, or maybe one more hole should be there. And sketch again. If I create it here, what I will do, click here, control hold, click here and then click on the concentricity. Okay, then this finish, go back, click on the arrow. Now it is inside. This much is not needed, maybe we'll keep it to this, right? Now you can see the little detailed thing, right? And inside definitely there will be a conical thing, or maybe you can use the chamfer here and 0.1 preview. Now what is good, 0.3 preview, yeah, this will work. So now you can see. So as you can see, it will not showing exact circle, right? It is showing like a hexagon, so it might confuse you. Okay, did you create a circle or a hexagon, right? So it is because the CATIA creates everything, and it's a vast and a very heavy software. So visually, it will always show you the lines or the constructions of the particular 3D element. It will not show you the exact circle anywhere because of the load of the for reducing the load on the CATIA software. Once you, now you can see it is more looking like a circle once you going back. Right? If you're going close, it will show you the edges of certain things, right? So it's just a graphical problem and not with your geometry, so don't worry about it. So once you put it this model into the any rendering or software, so it will look fine, it will look circular and nice things. Even the fillets, if you can see, there are a lot of edges you can see. So this is just a graphical problem with the software because it's very heavy, so it has to work very light because it is very fluid. Most of the softwares, they show a lot of things visually very great, but they lacks when you're working, right? So this is the good thing about the CATIA. Okay, so what else is there? So maybe we have to create some of the slots for the mic. So again, there is option here, so I can just go back and create a small hole here, right? small hole with some dimension, and now you can just guide this to the how much from this and how much from this. Right. Go back, create a pad with certain, now it created the hole. So now again one more option is here, like I can just bring it out. The pattern option, rectangular pattern option. So here I can click on the rectangular pattern option, and now I have to select the portion or a thing which I want to multiply. So here is define the thing, define the reference element, right? So I can click, there is no selection, I can click here, then I can go back and cancel it. Let's select again. Right, reference element, this will be the reference element. So now it is showing the direction. So better you can click on the element first, because just now what we have did, we tried to select the element and it is not selecting, it is selecting the reference, right? So object to the pattern is pocket 7. This is in the below option, not on the top option. Okay, so now it is going in one direction, like it is by default taking the 20. So we don't want 20 this side, we want this side. So maybe one is good, right? So I can increase 1 2 3 4 5 6, and there is second direction available here. So second direction, if I can click here and I can give the direction this one, right? So I can click 2. So now it is taking from the 20, but I want just close enough to this. I can just rotate and check. Now this is looking fine. So I can click on the OK button, then again you will get the details, right? So now you have the slot and these things are ready. So the next thing is creating the switch from this side. So how you will create the switch? The same thing, we are not using any other tools, right? You can create multiple product only just by using the extrude. If you understand how to sketch and extrude and how to cut from each direction, I think that will be much enough, until and unless go to the very complex thing, right? So that we will see in the next session, how you can create different things and understand the different tools like a revolve and the groove and all. So the next thing is, what is there will be some switches. So again I'll clicking on something, and then I can go back. I'll just see which is the direction. Okay, this is the direction. I can just go to the normal plane. Okay, and from here also you can change the view, right? So, and if you want to work on the 4 side, it will show you the 4 side view. So go back, we want to create sketch here, right? And maybe there are 2 buttons for the sound up, sound down, right? So what I need to create a slot again here to here, right? And then I can see the dimensions. That looks fine to me, but what is needed here from the reference? So it is like over constraining things because it is already defined. So let's select the point to the point dimension, and another point to the point dimension. There is one more option here, point to the point, right? If you want to change anything, that you can click, double click, and then change it. Again, if I want to simultaneously create something, right? So I can click here and let's see if we can copy paste it and then try to move manually. Control P, Control C, Control V is for the copy pasting option, and then I can keep it here. Then again, what you have to do, click and give some reference. Again, it's not picking, it's picking the angle, so better you can click on the point to point dimension, point to point. I think it's almost similar, so no need to worry that much, but you can definitely define at least this distance, both of them, right? And that you can change if you want. Then go back, then you have two keys, extrude, this much is 1, let's preview, and this is also looking outside, 0.3, preview, yeah, so looking fine. Click on OK, and now you have to switch for your sound up, sound down. Then again we'll just move back and create a camera option first, because this is similar option you can create over here for the start stop button. So let's click here and try to select this. Then let's see this one will be the square box. Let's move this outside and maybe like this. Let's give some dimensions, 20 and 70. So maybe I'll just take 20 and 20, and distance of this from this is around 18, so maybe I'll just move it up. I'll keep it 20. Right. So because of the constraint, you can get the exact reference from the center, and you can move the part as per the dimensions, the references. I'll just go back, pad it, maybe with the 1 preview, right? Then okay, and I needed some fillet edge everywhere. So it is as per your mobile, so no need to create exact same thing, but we add 1. Let's see, maybe adding 2 will give some good review. Yeah, this is looking fine, like the mobile thing, or maybe I'll add some chamfer to it so that more detail and looking thing. We extruded 1, so maybe we'll try to put 1 and then preview it. So now it is looking much better, right? So what is the next thing? Next thing is to create the flashlight and the camera. So again, same thing. To create the details, go into the sketch, select the surface, and then maybe this much, give some dimensions, keep some reference, and now go back again, pad, preview, fine. Now you have the slot for the camera. Again we will create the slot for the, what else is required? We required the some flash. So again put some dimensions, give some reference from here, and then F, then again cut, preview. Okay. So now you have the slots ready. So now you have to create the a small camera brief. So how you can create? Again same thing, what we will do, you will use sketch, go to the plane, and now you will see a little. Now again I am not getting the reference, so what I have to do, click on the a control, select both them, go to the concentricity, select OK, give some dimensions, and now move out. Okay, so now I created the pad, but my dimensions are not better. This problem may happen a lot of times because we created the surface and see it is outside, so maybe you have to create it inside, right? So again I need not 1, now I need maybe 0.3 will do. So now I have little more depth, and now I'll work on the cylinder of the camera. Click here, circle from the center. Now it is in the center, so maybe this, give some dimensions, go back, again click, sketch, circle, right, use some dimensions. So I haven't added the constraint. If you want to add, you can add the constraint and it will turn, it is already showing because we added the dimensions. But let's see concentricity, and now it is fine. Cut option, now we have to add some lens, so maybe we'll create a small cylinder. Again yes, close to this, again control, concentricity, dimension, reference, go back, cylinder, upside, fine, then fillet option, maybe 0.4, preview 0.6, preview. I think 1 might work fine. Yeah, so now this is like the lens, and you can add more details, like if you want to add a ring over here, you can create the rings, like one ring here and then another ring above them, so that you can show some detailed thing, right? So I can use the pad of direction of 0.3 maybe, preview, this is fine. So now I have this thing. I have created the slot because it has to be a different object. Maybe I'll just show you how you can create. So I can click here, and then I can click on the go. So I have to create this again. So what I will do, I will go to the this one, create the circle, and then create the offset of this circle, and very close offset, right? It is not intersecting with the surface, but very close. Okay, now I don't want the old one, so I'll just delete the older one, and now I'll go back. So I have this circle, I have to create a pad, reverse in direction, and I'll say okay. So now it is closed, and now I have to change the properties and increase the transparency, apply. Now it is only applied to the surface, right? So I don't want to apply it to only to the surface, right? So I'll see from the tree what is the last pad. This is the last pad, right? I can go from here and go to the properties, and now I can increase the transparency, and as you can see, if I click on the black, even apply, so now it is showing a transparent material on it, right? So it will help to create a exact look on the during the rendering thing. Okay, and same thing with the this one, right? You can always add fillet at the edge, cancel corner, preview is fine. We need to create something so that it looks visually understandable. Okay, there is something, because if you don't have the exact dimensions and don't know what should be the size of the lens or what should be the size of the flashlight, so it is difficult. But we have to create something so that we can understand, okay, this is the something is visible, and don't leave empty anything, or don't keep like, okay, this is fine, we'll do it in the rendering, but it will look literally bad if you just create something and which is empty. Okay, again outside, fine. Now I have this last pad, maybe I'll just go to the properties and change it to exact white, apply, and now I can see, yes, right. Maybe I can give some fillet so that it should show some kind of detailing to it, right? And 0.5 preview, 0.3, okay, yeah. Now again what we have to do, we have to close this part. Then again I'll choose this one. What I will do, I will choose the solid thing. Again it is not selecting, only selecting one time, so double click here and then select on the edge, right? And now extrude option, if you change the, you can go back here, and now you can very close you want, right? There is another option like here you can use top up assembly and top down assembly, where you can create a different part, you know, the dimensions of particular thing, so you can just create something in the different window of the CATIA, and then you can import and assemble it here, or you can create a new component and then also you can create the product, right? But right now we are just worry about creating the exact visually looking thing so that you can understand the tools, and then you can use it for the different purpose. Like 0.275 looks fine. Maybe just keep here 0, and then so again I'll go the offset. Try to attach with this one. Deselect this by clicking it outside. Sometimes you might click on the any other different surface, so that's why better try to click outside and then do it, or maybe choose the double click option. Right here you can double click and just then click on the object. And now I don't want the outer edge, so I'll just delete. Go back, create the pad. Inside we want, right? Then select OK. Now it is filled. What is the option here? Pad, properties, increase the transparency, right? Maybe it should be white. Apply. OK. Now you have the camera to the photo. Here some things are left, so maybe we'll just put a small slot, and then we'll close the session. What should be here? It should be a slot over here to here. Then next thing, maybe we'll take the same reference so that we can understand the difference. So here you can easily identify the difference between these two, right? So it is getting over constrained. Is too much. 42, yeah, 42 is fine. Here I will put 5 is less, so okay, double click. Seven. Seven, and then okay. On the bottom, and then click, right? Or maybe you can create a smaller, so that it is for the speaker and all, and you can create a small holes like this. So this is your assignment. You can take a reference of your own mobile, and then you have to create the solid model out by using the pad pocket. and the fillet and chamfer options, right? And the properties you can use to change the color, right? If you can want to see without layers, so you can just see the mobile with this. Okay, add all the details here and even in the back side, everything whatever in your mobile you have the references, so you can click create on this. Okay, so work on your assignment. This is the example so that you can follow all the stages how you can achieve the part modeling with the help of the tools, and you can create the basic representative dimension model of any product, right? And in the next session we will going to see the other tools and the options, advanced option with a different example. Okay, please work on your assignment and submit the assignment. Thank you very much.